looks like we've got a little over 200 people in. It is 2 minutes past, so let's get started. Thank you all for joining today. My name is Alex Schulberg. I'm with the American Made program here at the National Renewable Energy Laboratory. I am the American Made project lead for this open voucher call, and we are really excited for a great webinar today. I am thrilled to present this new opportunity within American Made. This is made possible by the U.S. Department of Energy's Office of Technology Transition, OTT, and the Technology Commercialization Fund, TCF. This is one of many amazing opportunities to participate in the DOE's American Made program, and it's the first opportunity of its kind like this, where innovators will get to work with national labs. So our hope is that by the end of today's presentation, you'll have everything you need to know to be successful in the TCF Open Voucher Call. So super excited to get into it. But before we dive in, I'm going to go over the table of contents for today's webinar. Okay, so before we start, there's a couple housekeeping items of note. To start, this webinar is being recorded. This will be posted online for later viewing. You'll get a notification when this is available via the HeroX Update tab. If you're not familiar with that, that's fine. We're going to go over that a little bit later in this webinar. But it will be recorded and available for your later viewing, and hello to anyone that didn't join today and is watching it recorded. Additionally, if you have any questions during the presentation, please post them in the chat throughout. We'll be trying to respond to some of them. There's lots of people in the webinar today. We don't have a Q&A section where we're going to be just answering questions, but I do have some of my colleagues that'll be trying to answer some questions as they come in. If we don't respond to them in the chat today, we're going to be responding to all of the questions and posting them under our resources tab in HeroX in about a week or so. So be on the lookout for that. We will also let you know when that is on the resources page via the updates page. And again, if you're not familiar with any of that, we're going to go over it. So yeah, please post any questions that you may have in the chat today, and we'll try to get to it today. And if we don't, we will get to it in written form on the HeroX resources page. Okay, to start off this webinar, I'm going to be handing off the mic to Nick Johnson from the Department of Energy. He's going to be providing an overview of the Office of Technology Transitions and the Technology Commercialization Fund, after which we will then be joined by Debbie Brochiles, who's going to provide an overview of the American Made Challenges program. And then I'm going to provide an overview of the open voucher call. We're going to go over eligibility. We're going to go over the submission package. We're going to go over all of the additional resources that we have. That includes office hours from our power connectors, UACI and Ensemble, as well as some additional resources which are constantly being updated. And then finally, we're going to go over HeroX. So you'll be able to find all of the stuff afterwards, including this recorded webinar. Okay, so I'm going to hand it off to Nick Johnson with the Department of Energy, and he's going to give us an overview of OTT and TCF.
Yeah, thanks, Alec. So yeah, my name is Nick Johnson. I help here at the DOE's OTT office, specifically in the TCF-based team. Just give a little overview of what OTT is and TCF. So if you can go to the next slide, Alec. So really, the mission of OTT, or the Office of Technology Transition, is to really expand the commercial impact of the research investments of the Department of Energy. And a lot of that deals with the national labs. So we really are stewards of commercialization across the departments and labs. So we oversee a delivery of the DOE's strategic goals for technology commercialization. We streamline access to DOE's national labs to foster partnerships with the private sector and move solutions to market. And we also have a congressional mandate to report out on the tech transfers across DOE. So really, we like to see a lot of partnerships with the labs. We like to see a lot of licensing of lab technology. Really, commercialization is the focus of OTT. Next slide, please. So the Technology Commercialization Fund, or TCF base as we call it, it was created in 2005 by the EP Act, and it's really to help catalyze the agency's RD&D efforts for affordable market-ready energy solutions. So we have a real big focus on commercializing national lab developed technologies. As a lot of people may know, national labs are a lot of the time on the forefront of all science-related activities. And once an activity or a research activity becomes towards that area of commercialization, that's where TCF base has appropriations provided through the EPA Act, where we have about 1% of applied programs and demonstration funds that go to TCF base. So this comes from 14 different program offices. So like Office of Electricity, Nuclear Energy, all the EERE offices. And throughout the years, we've done 278 million in funding, 63 million, where 41 million of that was federal funding. We work across all the national lab plants and sites. We have funded 509 projects to date, and we have what we are calling our Climber Lab Call, which comes out every annual year now. And through that, in the last 3 years, we've done $100 million in funding to projects where national labs partner a lot of times with companies, and we help fund these projects to commercialize a lot of the taxpayer funded projects throughout the years. So that's just a brief overview. Looking forward to if there's any questions in the chat, and have a great day.
Great. Thank you, Nick. And now I'm going to hand it over to Debbie to go over the American Made program.
Thank you. Thanks, Alec. So hi, everybody. I'm Debbie Bro-Giles. I work very closely with Alec. I'm the program manager for American Made more broadly. So American Made is a really quite a overarching program that includes prizes, vouchers, and a network to support our wonderful innovators who are moving forward in all of the prize competitions and different program opportunities that we have. So this is one of those, right? So this open voucher call is part of American Made, and it's also been funded through TCF, which is why Nick was here describing TCF. But American Made is really, you can kind of consider it your fast track to the clean energy revolution. It's really designed to help get Department of Energy money into the hands of innovators just like yourself to really advance your ideas. We can help with teaming and mentoring and team support, and there's prizes, cash prizes sometimes. And in this case, you get the opportunity to work with a national lab to advance your idea. So I'm really, really excited about this new open voucher call because it is a first of its kind for American Made. Most of the other things that we're doing are more kind of cash prize related, and this one is an open call. So this is a little bit different than a prize, but still kind of in the wheelhouse of American Made and still very supportive through the network and our national lab system. So next slide. This slide just kind of shows what we've been doing over the last 6.5 years. So there's been more than 260 million in cash prizes and support that's been awarded. Once this open voucher call, it comes to full fruition, the funding that we give through these vouchers will be added into those dollars. So it's kind of cash prizes or support is very important to get you guys going and get your ideas off the ground. So we've done more than 70 prizes, and we have more than 450 network members that are there to support the program as well. So the next slide. The next slide talks a little bit about I talked a little bit about prizes, a little about that network to support you. And then there's vouchers and training. So it falls right in line with the voucher, right? So this is where we're doing this open call, and you're getting basically this voucher to work with our national labs to help advance your ideas or the like ideas that are coming out of the national labs, and in some cases maybe even blending those. So that's really exciting. And then the training element of this program is always there as well, because there's a lot of opportunities for mentorship and just getting connected with the right people. The next slide talks about our prizes and kind of what we normally do along the prize platform. So normally a prize is kind of, we're doing this really to offer a low barrier to entry to get everyone out there to work with our national labs and the Department of Energy. So this voucher call is no different, right? We want to make sure that this is easy for you to work with us. Normally, I think it's very hard. It's a little difficult for people to kind of figure out the pathway in to work at a national lab or get access to any of our researchers or any of our equipment and facilities. So what this does is it lowers that barrier to entry. How we normally structure a prize is that we give maybe a little bit of money for something small in the beginning. It might look like a plan or an idea of what you might want to do. And then through a prize, you kind of keep going and keep going and keep going. And at every additional phase, you get a little bit more money. You do a little bit more to achieve the goals that are set forth in the prize rules. And then you achieve that great goal at the end. This, like I said, is an open voucher call. It's a little bit different, but the idea is the same. Low barrier to entry. You tell us your plan, you tell us what you want to do, and then you get off to the races and hopefully are very successful. The next slide, I believe, goes into vouchers. And because Alec is our voucher expert, so Alec is the one that manages our voucher program through American Made, I'll let him take over here. But I just want to kind of mention that we've been doing vouchers a long time. This isn't really new. We have lots of different prizes that have done vouchers where we give money plus some money to use a voucher at a national lab. So this is really a very first opportunity to kind of just have a whole program dedicated to vouchers. So I'm really excited about it. I'm glad you're all here learning about it, and I'll hand it over to Alec.
Great. Thank you, Debbie. So yeah, as Debbie said, we've been doing vouchers with our team for a really long time. For those of you who are selected and do receive a voucher through this program, you'll see that because we have a very streamlined process to go through all the different steps that'll need to be taken after those selected are awarded. So yeah, this is something that we have been fairly prolific in, and you know, we have some really nice numbers here. So our team has awarded over 200 vouchers with a total value of over $14 million. There's been over 19 prizes that have been supported by vouchers. Additionally, we have awarded vouchers on behalf of 7 different DOE offices, and that's going to be even more once we award for this TCF Open Voucher Call. So really excited to include this amongst one of our programs here in American Made. And yeah, this is something that I personally have been really excited for. So I think at this point, it's probably worthwhile to answer a question that maybe some of you have, which is, what is a voucher? And that's a fair question. So simply, a voucher is like a gift card for work to be done at a national lab. A voucher provides an innovator with a defined dollar amount, and that dollar amount can only be used or redeemed for technical assistance, testing, validation, analysis, use of specialized equipment or software, simulation or modeling, consulting. There's probably a bunch of other use cases that a voucher can be used for, but essentially it is a gift card to do work at a national lab. And so if there's, this call is essentially us saying, what is your idea? What would you like to do at a national lab? Tell us about it. Yeah, that is pretty much it. And we're really excited to see what kind of ideas you all have. We're going to go into the kind of deeply into it, but essentially that's what this open voucher call is doing, and that is what a voucher is. A voucher is something that DOE awards, and it's a certain dollar amount that can be redeemed for work or technical assistance at a specific national lab. Okay, so let's get into it. As I said, I'm super excited. This is something that I've been wanting to do ever since I started interacting with vouchers, is open this up to the public and see what kind of amazing ideas you all have for the type of work that you'd like to see done on your behalf at a national lab. So yeah, let's jump into it. As you'll see, and I'm going to mention a couple times, there is a date that's going to keep popping up. That's October 3rd, 5 p.m. Eastern. That is when submissions are due. Submissions are currently open. Please, please, please get your submissions in before October 3rd at 5 p.m. Eastern. If you don't, it will not be accepted. We're going to close the submission down, so you won't even be able to submit after that time. Submit early, submit often. Please don't wait till the last minute. I know lots of people will, but we've had so many times where people have technical errors and issues and they're not able to submit. If that happens, we can't help you. So please submit early before October 3rd. Okay, so this is the TCF Open Voucher Call. This is a $2.1 million opportunity. It was created to provide the public with opportunities to develop technologies alongside researchers at the DOE National Laboratories. This is a single phase opportunity. We're going to be awarding 21 vouchers of up to $100,000 each to people with ideas advancing clean energy, sustainability, or other key national lab supported initiatives. While a range of technologies will be considered, applicants are encouraged to leverage national lab IP when developing their ideas. All ideas are going to be considered, but those that incorporate national lab IP will likely be given preference for selection. So just want to be clear on that. If you have an idea and it does not involve national lab IP, you should still submit. But if it does, even better. You know, and if you're curious about that, or you maybe possibly want to involve some national lab IP or co-develop some IP, we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But just so you know, if that does work into your submission, it will be given preference. Okay. Additionally, all voucher recipients are going to be required to provide a minimum cost share of $25,000. That can be provided a couple different ways, either cash or in kind. So the type, if it's not cash, it's $25,000 of work on your team's end. That'll obviously need to be documented. But it can be either cash or in kind, but there does need to be a minimum cost share of $25,000. We're going to ask for descriptions of that within our submission document, but also that's going to be contracted as a part of the contracting document. If your team is selected and you go to contract with the National Lab, that's going to be recorded there as well. Selected teams will have 1 year to work with the national laboratory of their choice, or selected. Let's caveat that. You can give preference to where you'd like to do work, but it is possible that there may be a national lab that's better suited or has more availability or more interest for your submission, and you may be assigned your voucher there. So we'd love to hear where you'd like to work or where you'd like to have that work done, but we can't guarantee that you are the one selecting that. That may be selected for you depending on the circumstance. And if you don't have a preference, then it will be selected for you, which I would say is not a bad thing. We're going to try to match them as best we possibly can to get the work done, to have the best results we possibly can. We want the work to be amazing too. So, and we probably know the national labs better than you do because we work here. So, yeah, if you don't have a national lab in mind, don't worry. That is not a problem. Also, at the end of if you're selected, you go through contracting, you do the work for a year. At the end of the conclusion of the work, there's going to be progress reports, interviews, things of that nature. So that is included as a part of this program. So you will have to participate in that as well. But that's essentially, we just want to hear about the work you've done and record that and publicize that. So yeah, just one additional thing that I wanted to bring up here. Okay, and then these are the participating Department of Energy national laboratories. We have, and we're so happy that we have this amazing, diverse group of labs here to be a part of this project. We believe that they're going to offer a really big variety of capabilities that can be leveraged for the purposes of this call. So that's Ames National Laboratory, Argonne National Laboratory, Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory, Los Alamos National Laboratory, the National Renewable Energy Laboratory, Oak Ridge National Laboratory, Pacific Northwest National Laboratory, and Sandia National Laboratory. So we're super, super excited to have them all on board and to offer that really big, diverse capabilities list that we're going to go over here in a second. Again, the voucher recipients that are selected will be paired with one of the national labs based on their identified technology area, as well as lab interests, lab capabilities, staffing, and DOE input. Okay, and so this is our list, our ever-growing list of technology areas. So you'll see in our rules document, we do have technology areas and national lab capabilities. What I will say is that list is not current. The reason for that is we have national lab staff from all of these national labs that are still learning about this program. And what has been happening is they'll learn about this program and they'll email me and say, hey, I don't see the capability that I work on this list. I'd like to add that. And so we want to make as many capabilities available to you all to consider to make submissions. And so I'm constantly updating that list whenever I have a researcher reach out to me and say, hey, can you add this capability? So the list on the rules document is not the most current list. The most current list is constantly being updated via different versions on the resources page on HeroX. So we're going to go over that in a second, but I just wanted to be clear that if you're relying on the rules document, please go on HeroX under resources, go to the lab capabilities list and look there for the different technology areas and lab capabilities as they relate to that so that you can have a more up-to-date list. And like I said, that's constantly updating. I can't tell you when the final version will be there. I'm doing the best I can to just put in every capability that we have. And so if a researcher comes to me and says, please add this to the list, I'm going to add it to the list. One thing that I want to make clear is that we are requesting that you do not reach out to lab staff regarding this program and the voucher requests. The reason for that is there are likely going to be hundreds of submissions, and if participants are reaching out to lab staff, we have no control over that. We have no idea essentially what's being said, how that, you know, and also lots of the researchers probably don't know that this program exists. There's tens of thousands of researchers at the various national labs. And so I can't guarantee that they've all heard about this program. So we want to facilitate any types of communications. What I will say is if you have a voucher request that does not include National Lab IP, we are not going to be making any connections to National Lab staff at this stage. We believe that you will be able to create a submission that we can go through and review. That we do not believe that at this stage you will need to talk with National Lab staff. If your submission is selected, that's when we'll match you with staff so that you can scope kind of the exact work that you would be doing. We just want to hear about the type of work that you would like to do. It doesn't have to be extremely specific. The more specific you can be, the better. But again, we're asking that you please do not reach out to National Lab staff. You can reach out to the Open Voucher Call email that I'm going to show at the end of this. If you have a submission that it is going to include National Lab IP, if that's the case, then we will do our best to facilitate a connection to a national lab researcher so that they can tell you about the IP that you're interested in. They're not going to be assisting you with your submission, but they can give you a little bit more information as it relates to the IP that's available. So if you do have that, reach out to the Open Voucher Call email, and we'll try to make that connection. Again, they're not going to help you with your submission, and if they are involved, telling you about the IP, they're going to be precluded from helping review. So, we have to make sure that it's fair and balanced. But again, please do not reach out to National Lab staff. If you do have IP that involves, if you do want to involve National Lab IP, reach out to the Open Voucher Call email. We'll make that connection for you. But please do not reach out to National Lab staff. If you do, your submission may be disqualified. So just want to be clear there. We recommend basing your voucher requests on the National Lab capabilities list, like I said, in the resources page under the HeroX resources tab. We also recommend researching laboratory capabilities from the Lab Partnering Service website. It's got a link on right here, as you can see on the screen. It's labpartnering.org, and you can search by technologies, and that will give you a list of the different IP that's available. It will also give you a list of some of the capabilities that the labs have. So between that and the ever-evolving capabilities list, we think that you should have more than enough resources to put together the submission package that we're asking for. Okay, so I wanted to quickly walk you through the process of this program. The way this is working is that we have launched this opportunity and we're currently accepting submissions up until October 3rd. Once submissions close, we'll begin our internal voucher recipient selection process. That should take about 2 months. During that process, the Open Voucher Call admin, DOE, and the national labs will be reviewing all of the submissions, making matches for the vouchers that are selected, and doing an internal approval process. Once the selection's complete, we'll make the voucher recipient announcement, letting the winners know that they have been awarded a voucher. Then the selected voucher recipients and the assigned national lab will collaborate on an official scope of work for the voucher. Additionally, they will contract the voucher. This contracting effort will include documentation of how the $25,000 cost share will be met. It will also include the scope of work that you will have worked on with the national lab and that researcher. That process, the contracting and scope of work negotiation, should take about 2 months or less. Once that's complete and documentation is contracted, work can begin. Work should be completed within 1 year, after which voucher recipients and the national lab researchers will take part in final testimonials, interviews, and reporting. So that's kind of like that's the timeline. Those are kind of the different steps that we're going to be going through for this. Right now, we're at the very beginning. Voucher submissions are open. So hopefully you all have thought about some of your ideas. You're starting to think about your ideas. You're starting to put that together with your team. And then once you're ready, please submit it. Okay, so probably the most common thing we have questions about is eligibility. So I'm going to go over some of this, but as it relates to everything in this webinar, the most complete summary is going to be available in our official rules document on HeroX. So please don't use this as gospel. This is just, I'm just going over, this is like a brief tutorial of walking you through that rules document, but I'm not including everything there. Please, please, please read the rules document, read it again, read it backwards. That's going to be everything you're going to need. If you have questions, I would recommend rereading the rules document. It's probably answered in there. If it's not, reach out to us and we'll answer it for you. Or we'll do our best to answer it for you. There's certain scenarios where you're going to have to make a determination and then we'll have to make a determination. But we're not going to be in that stage yet because you haven't submitted. So we can probably avoid a lot of that if you review the rules document. So yeah, first thing, a single submitter or team may submit a maximum of one submission per technology area. If more than one submission per technology area is received from a single submitter or team, then the most recently submitted submission will be considered. We have received questions about what is a team. A team is a group of individuals. A team is a group of individuals. So if you work at a big university or a big company and you have multiple groups within that company, and there's all those groups want to submit to this program, they're more than welcome to, as long as it's different teams. It's got to be different teams submitting. It can't be the same group of people called something else. It needs to be different people. It's okay if they're coming from say a university, to have multiple submissions, even in a technology area. It just cannot be the same team. The reason for that is we realize that there are huge universities and companies, and we don't want to limit those to just one group that gets here first. So hopefully that makes sense. But just wanted to kind of clarify that because we have received that question already. The TCF Open Voucher Call is only open to private entities, that's for-profits and nonprofits, federal government entities such as states, counties, tribes, municipalities, academic institutions, and individuals this is open to them. Subject to the following things. So private entities must be U.S. owned and controlled. The participating group must also commit to manufacture any inventions conceived or reduced to practice in connection with this program in the United States in accordance with U.S. competitiveness provisions. These domestic requirements must be maintained throughout the entire program. An individual or group of submitters who are not submitting as a part of an incorporated private entity must all be U.S. citizens or legal permanent residents. Individuals submitting as a part of an incorporated private entity may participate if they are legally allowed to work in the United States. Academic institutions must be based in the United States. DOE employees, employees of sponsoring organizations, members of the immediate families, persons living in the same household as such persons, whether related or not, are not eligible to compete in this call. Any individuals who worked at DOE, federal employees, or contractors within the last 6 months prior to submission deadline of any call are not eligible to compete in this TCF Open Voucher Call. Federal entities, federal employees are not eligible to participate. DOE national laboratory employees cannot compete. And there's other more requirements. Again, please review the rules for that. Okay, submitting to the TCF Open Voucher Call. Again, most important thing, please read the rules document. We are going to provide this entire presentation in like a PDF. So it'll have all these links for you. Again, that's going to be posted on the updates page on HeroX. So all these links will be available, but please review the rules. Everything you need in order to submit a successful submission is there. Okay, so as you can see, for those of you who have worked on American-made challenges before, worked on prizes before, usually there's a pretty long list of things that are needed to submit. As you can see, there's very few things that we are asking for this submission package. There's a reason for that. We want the barrier of entry to be low. We want you to tell us about your idea and not be burdened by having a huge list of hoops to jump through. So essentially this call is like, tell us about your idea about how you'd like to work or have work done at a national lab. And so we tried to kind of distill that down into its simplest format. So what we're asking for in the submission package is the completion of our technical assistance request form. And then we have a second item, which is optional, which is the letter of commitment or support. So for the technical assistance form, and I apologize if this is too small for you all to read, it's really hard to put this on a slide. This is in the rules document. And this is just a template of the form that we have available on HeroX. I'll go through this, but you're going to go on HeroX, you're going to sign up for the prize, and then you're going to go to the submission tab, and that will lead you to a Microsoft form. The form is in this format. It asks these exact questions, and you're going to fill out that form. And once you press submit, you're submitted. So I just want to go over some of these questions so that you all have a good idea. We are asking that you limit your word count to 2,500 words. If you go over the word count, the reviewers do not have to read past the 2,500 words. So please, for your own sakes, please don't go over the 2,500 words. Okay, so essentially, we've broken this down into sections. The first section of this technical assistance form is project overview. So that's going to be telling us your project title, a brief, non-proprietary product or project description. Like, what are you trying to do in a national lab? Then we'd like to know the stage of readiness for your innovation or your project. Where is your team at currently on what you're wanting us to work on? Is this in the idea stage? Are you scaling up, getting ready for commercialization? Are you looking for testing, field validation? We've identified 5 different stages. And so if you could select one of those so that we can have a good idea when we're reviewing of where your team is currently at on this. We're also asking for team captain and key project members. We're going to want name, email, links to their professional online profiles, things of that nature. We're also, if you have any other partners that are involved or going to be involved, please list them. We need to know your city, state, and 9-digit zip code. We also, if you have a preferred lab, let us know. And then let us know if National Lab IP is going to be incorporated as a part of this request. If you are planning on leveraging or using National Lab IP or co-developing IP or using National Lab IP in any way, please let us know. And then the next is going to be alignment with a national lab. So what specific expertise within the national lab are you looking for, and do you believe is critical for the success of your project? And how's that going to complement your team's skills and the project that you plan on working on? Facilities and equipment. List the facilities or the equipment at the national labs that you would like to leverage. Again, we understand that you may not be aware of the exact equipment that's available at the national labs. That's fine. You can generalize. You can guess. We're looking for this type of modeling software or this type of installation or whatever that may be. We can try to make that match for you. We are not expecting you to be experts in any sort of scenario. And again, we're asking that you do not reach out to National Lab staff. If you do, you could be disqualified. So because we're asking you to do that, we understand that you may not have all the information as it relates to national laboratories. So that's fine. But if you do have some specific facilities or equipment that you are aware of or that you became aware of via the lab partnering service website, let us know about that. And then describe how those facilities or equipment align with your research/business objectives. The next is enhancement of technical aspects. How do you anticipate the national laboratories' expertise or facilities will enhance the technical aspects and outcome of your proposed project? So essentially, if you are awarded this voucher, where is that going to put? What's the next step? Once that work is done, where are you going to be after that? Where are you planning on being after that? What does the end goal look like for you after this work has been completed? Addressing challenges. Let us know any specific challenges or bottlenecks in your project that you believe our expertise or facilities could help address. We would hope that you're coming to us with something that you can't do on your own. And so let us know what that is and why. Cost share commitment. Describe how your team will provide the requested minimum $25,000 cost share. Specify whether it'll be in kind or in cash. If you can describe, we're going to send you a check, great. We're going to work on it. This is how many hours we would plan on working on it, or we just plan on doing in-kind work. A description of that would be really helpful there, specifically so that you have that in mind if you're selected, and so that we can know going into selections as to how these in-kind requirements are going to be met. Okay, connection to energy justice, engaging with or developing solutions for underserved communities. Describe if your team has any team members or partners with diverse backgrounds. Also, does your technology have relevance to help building solutions and capacity in underserved communities? If so, please describe how the technology will improve energy justice by expanding technology development, building capacity, or engaging people in underserved, underrepresented communities. So if that relates to any part of your project, let us know. If it doesn't, let us know. Team member experience or competency. Provide a description of the related experience or competency the team members have that's related to this project. If somebody's on your team is, super experienced in this field, let us know. If your team isn't, let us know. It's really helpful for us when we're making matches with National Lab staff to know what the team's related experience or competencies are, so that we can make a match for you, so that we can get this project to the next level. U.S. Department of Energy National Lab partnership history. Describe any prior or current partnership with National Labs on this work. If you've already worked with the National Lab on this, if you've worked with National Labs prior, tell us about it. That's super helpful for us. It could make making connections much easier. That's something we definitely want to know. And if not, let us know that too. That's not a problem at all. It's just something that if a team has, we certainly would like to know about that. National Lab intellectual property commercial potential / innovation acceleration. This is, you don't have to worry about answering this if your request does not incorporate National Lab IP. But if it does, please answer this question. The question is, if your voucher request incorporates National Lab IP, how will this work accelerate the commercialization of National Lab IP and advance energy innovation? Focusing not only on technical aspects, but if successful, also explaining how this work will enable commercialization or advanced innovation. So if you're using National Lab IP, tell us how it's going to get that IP to commercialization. That is super important if you plan on using National Lab IP, that you have a plan for it, especially if you want to license it, right? So if you're going to be working with our licensing department, they're going to want to know what you're going to do with it. So let us know. Okay, and then now we're on to the letters of, so that is like what I just went over. That is essentially everything that you have to submit for this project. So like I said, we tried to boil it down to all the information we would need. If there is additional information that we need, we review your application or your submission and we say, we've got a couple more questions for this team. We may reach out to you and ask you those questions. But we tried to get everything in there that we would need to make selection. But just wanted to caveat that within the rules document, we have allowed for possible kind of interview extra questions to be asked if needed. But we tried to boil it down as much as we could to make it easier on you all, a small barrier of entry there, but also give us all the information we need to select some really impactful potential vouchers. So letters of commitment or support. Again, this is totally optional. If you do have relevant entities that can provide context, Letters of support from partners or others that are critical to the success of your proposed voucher will likely increase your likelihood of receiving a voucher. General letters of support from parties that aren't critical will have no factor into your score. Please don't include them. If you have a neighbor that thinks you're nice, that's probably not critical. But if you have a partner that is critical to executing work, then we definitely would like a letter from them. Please do not submit multi-page letters. Please do not include letters of support from national laboratories. Again, we're requesting that you do not reach out to them. So if you have a letter of support from a national laboratory, that's not great because we're asking you not to do that. There's a section within the submission form on the Microsoft Forms where you can attach your letters of support or commitment. We're asking that if you have multiple letters, that they all be 1 page or less. But if there's multiple letters from multiple critical partners, please combine these letters into a single PDF and then upload that to a shared drive and then link that shared drive to the section in Microsoft Forms. It'll be very clear when you're in the forms where that is. Please note, if we are unable to access that file with the link you provided, we're not going to be able to review the letters. So please be sure that drive is accessible. Okay, so I want to go over some of our resources. To start out, we have 2 power connectors that we have contracted with to help assist you all throughout this process. And so today we're joined by the University of Arizona Center for Innovation, and we're joined by Ensemble. And so we're really excited to have them. They are a great resource for you all to help with your submissions. So I hope that you all take advantage of these opportunities. We're going to start with the University of Arizona Center for Innovation. They have a webinar that's going to be on August 22nd. We are going to post the link to that on our updates page so that you all can sign up for that. That essentially is how to leverage the American-made network. Also, just information that you could use to help you put together a better submission for this project. So if you're interested in learning on that, that is not going to be a part of the American Made. Nobody on my team is going to be working on that. That's going to be done by the University of Arizona Center for Innovation. But they're here to help support you. And so one of the ways they're doing that is doing a webinar. So be on the lookout for that in the updates page for a link to that. Additionally, we have set up office hours. And so you can meet with the UACI team to schedule one-on-one submission support. So if you are pre-writing out your submission form and you'd like some review or maybe you have some questions or some cleaning up or just want a second set of eyes, this is that opportunity. So we'll also be providing a link to that in our resources page on HeroX. So be on the lookout for that and sign up. Okay, and then we have Ensemble here, and I believe we're joined by Julia Carlson. Julia, if you want to jump in and present some of these opportunities, I can hand over the mic to you.
Awesome. That's great, Alec. Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Julia Carlson, and I am a program manager at Ensemble Consultancy. We are an 8A small disadvantaged business, and we work with federal partners such as the Department of Energy to help design, launch, and manage prize competitions. And if you could jump to the next slide, that'd be great. Okay, awesome. Yeah, and so specifically for Open Voucher Call, we'll be supporting with application support. And so we'll be offering 15-minute sessions to meet with potential applicants for OVC. And so as a first step, we recommend that you download the application support checklist, which can be found on the HeroX site under resources. And then once you do that, please sign up for a 15-minute session with us and we can help answer any questions and also review your application and checklist as well. So the link for our Calendly for signing up is on the resources tab too. And then we also have a QR code here that will bring you to that Calendly link. But yeah, look forward to meeting with some applicants and helping you along the way.
Great. Thank you,
So,
Julia.
thanks, Alec.
Yeah, and I really hope everyone takes advantage of these resources. We contracted these so that you all can have assistance. You know, our team can't provide that type of assistance, so we hired that on. So if you're interested, please be sure to leverage those resources. Speaking of resources, if you go to our HeroX page, it'll look just like this, as you can see on your screen. We are, as I mentioned, we are constantly updating these. So we're adding new resources, we're updating the resources that are there. The official rules are in stone. However, they can be modified. So if there is some large thing that we need to modify, we could modify the rules, and we will let you know under the updates. We'll let you know in updates when anything is modified. But everything else is kind of constantly updating. And so as you see, there is an updated National Laboratory Capabilities list. If you go there, it'll list all the current national laboratory capabilities and topic areas that those national laboratories are interested in supporting. And so that's constantly updating. So please continue to check that. If you have a topic area that is not listed, that's fine. We have an other section in the submission form. Put that topic area there. We'll try to make the match. You know, we wanted to provide you all with a list of capabilities and topics that these labs are interested in supporting. But if there's another topic area that you're interested in, give it a shot. If it's awesome, we may be able to match it. So yeah, just I don't want that list to confine you all. It's just something that, you know, the labs have identified they're interested in supporting. But there may be other ideas that come to light that we could support that we didn't list. So don't be discouraged if your topic area isn't there. Additionally, this is where you can find an application support checklist that was provided by Ensemble. That'll go along with the call that you could schedule with them for their office hours. But even if you don't use office hours, that checklist is great. So go through that checklist, and when you're going through pre-writing your submission before you fill it out in the submission form, go through that checklist and make sure that you can check it all off. So take advantage of that. We have the application assistance calls with Ensemble listed there. We're going to add the ones with UACI very shortly. There may be more resources throughout the next months that we add. So just constantly be checking that, constantly check updates. We'll let you know if we add any resources. But we're just trying to provide you all as much information and resources as we possibly can so that you guys can have awesome submissions. So we're going to be constantly updating that. Additionally, as you can see here, there is the forum tab. You can ask questions there. You can, you know, if you're looking to collaborate with a team, you can say, hey, I'm looking to collaborate with a team. It's an open forum, so feel free to use that. If you ask us questions, we will answer you there. The timeline is there. Again, if you click that, that'll give you the timeline. If you click summary, it'll give you the summary. Frequently asked questions, and then submission form. So that is going to be key. If you plan on submitting, and you know what, this is probably the next page. How to register and compete. Okay, so go to the HeroX page. Click solve this challenge. That'll indicate your interest in competing. It's not the full submission. So that just says, you know, you agree to the rules and you've signed off. Do that. Go to solve this challenge, complete that. Once you've completed that, go to the submission form tab. When you click the submission form tab, that will take you to a Microsoft form that you will fill out that has the exact same questions that we asked, that we showed you in the template that are in the rules document. When you fill that out, that is a completed submission form. So this does look a little bit different for those of you who have competed in American Made Challenges before. We've never done it exactly this way. So again, solve this challenge, agree, if you can, if you do qualify, and agree to obey by the rules and all of those things. And then once that's completed, go to the submission form tab and complete the Microsoft form submission form. Yeah, that is pretty much it. A couple of other things you can go to follow. If you follow this page, you'll constantly receive the updates that we add. So I would recommend anyone that's interested, please follow. Also, share. If you have people that you think would be interested in this, share this. There's 21 $100,000 vouchers up for grabs. So the more teams or people that you think are interested in, share the love. We would love to see lots of amazing submissions, so that we can try to convince DOE to do this again. So as many awesome submissions as we can get, the better. Okay, so what's next? Follow the challenge on HeroX. Read the rules document. Super important. Start working on it. Start working with your teams. Put together your submissions. What I would recommend doing is using that template in the HeroX, or I'm sorry, start using the template in the rules document. Fill that out. Make it perfect, and then take it and essentially copy and paste it into the Microsoft Forms. That's probably your best way of making sure that your content is as good as it could possibly be. So take your time, but be sure to submit before October 3rd, 5 p.m. Eastern. If you submit late, it will not be accepted, essentially for any reasons. So we have a long submission period. We've been launched, I think, since May. We still have several months. Should be more than enough time to come up with your submissions and to submit early. Please, please, please submit early. I would hate for you to have an awesome voucher that you wanted to submit and that you were unable to do so because you missed the deadline. So we do not grant any, for no reason do we allow teams to submit late. So it's just one of our rules. So please submit early, or at the very least on time. Okay, and so if you have any questions, you can email us at the Open Voucher Call at nrel.gov. Additionally, you can ask your questions on the forum and we will answer them there. So if you think you have a question that would apply to a large group of people, I'd recommend putting it on the forum so other people can take advantage of that. If there's something where you're like, this is a clear question that would pop up and they didn't answer that, put it in the forum. We'll answer it. But if you have a question you don't feel comfortable putting in the forum, you can ask us and we will do our best to try to answer that at the Open Voucher Call at nrel.gov. Again, to follow the Open Voucher Call and to learn more, go to our website, www.herox.com/open voucher call. Okay, that's the last slide. It is 1 on the dot. Thank you all so much for joining today. We're so excited to have so much interest in this. Again, if you asked a question in the Q&A or in the chat and we didn't get to it, we will be answering all of those and posting those on the resources page. We're going to be posting the slide and the recorded, this recorded webinar on the resources page. So be on the lookout for all of those updates. Thank you all so much for attending. We're really excited for this opportunity, and we hope you all have a great day. Thank you so much.